Ilaria Wheeler. I'm probably saying it wrong because it's very exotic. She's director of research at patientsrightsadvocate.org. And Trump is actually threatening quite a few hospitals with fines because they're not meeting transparency requirements. Good morning. How are you?
Good morning, Fawn. And you said it perfectly. That was a very fun way to hear my name. But thank you for having me today.
Ilaria. She is here. All right. So, who are these bad guys? Who are the 500 hospitals? Let's call them out.
But it is a very exciting week for price transparency. Oh, my God. The Trump administration has put over 500 hospitals on notice for failing to meet the federal price transparency requirements. So, Fawn, if hospitals were not paying attention to these price transparency rules, they are now, huh?
Yep. Because, you know what? Maybe you'll make them go practice in Iran if they don't act right. But the fact that there are 500 of them, that is a big number.
That is a huge number. That is the largest enforcement effort we have seen in price transparency history to date.
That is crazy. You know, and he's threatening them with $2 million fines, which is like, I don't know, a week in the hospital. That's, I mean, seriously.
Yep, as CMS Administrator Oz announced, CMS sent letters, corrective action plans, and warning letters to hospitals to come into compliance and provide transparent prices or else be fined to the fullest extent of the law, which is great to hear because we know hospitals are overcharging patients every day for the care that they need. Fawn, we have 100 million Americans who delay the health care that they need because they don't know what the price is going to be up front. Or 100 million Americans, hold medical debt, and millions of these Americans are delaying the care that they need because they do not know what it's going to cost them.
I cannot get used to saying Administrator Oz. I just can't. It's just weird to me because it's, you know, I'm following the yellow brick road here. All right. So the hospitals who get these letters have how much time to comply? Because when I go there should literally be a menu of how much a scan is going to cost or how much a lab is going to cost or how much this or that's going to cost. I need to know because if I can't afford it, I'm probably leaving if I don't have insurance.
That's exactly the deal. And for too long, Americans have been forced to pay with a blank check for their health care. They go into the hospital to get the care that they need, the care that was recommended from their doctor. And then weeks or months later, they get stuck with the bill that will knock their socks off, that they did not see coming nor can afford. Price transparency puts a stop to all of this. I want to actually share a patient success story. We just got word from a patient who went into the hospital to get the care that he needed. Guess how much his bill was when he walked out? Over $200,000. $238,000 to be exact. Now, how can a hospital in good faith charge that to a patient, actually expecting them to be able to pay it back? It's just impossible. We leveraged the price transparency data from this hospital's website, negotiated it down, found overcharges, found fraudulent items that he was charged, and then they came back with, okay, we'll accept $98,000. Not good enough. Went back, they came back with $24,000. Not good enough. The final bill we settled on from the hospital was $9,500. How do you go from charging a patient $238,000 to accepting $9,500?
You know, we have some that are good and some that are bad in Missouri. I know my hospital in particular, if you can show them that you don't have insurance, they give you a huge discount. And if you can show them that you really just don't have any money, they don't send you to a collection agency. They don't force you to sell your car, your house, or your firstborn child. They help you. And we're so blessed to have that. So I do want to give them a shout out for that. But in big metro areas, that doesn't happen.
Exactly. And, you know, the Trump administration sent 16 Missouri hospitals warning notices for not complying with the federal hospital price transparency law. So I think we'll see an uptick in, you know, hospitals that are posting real actual prices up front in Missouri. And that is great for your state.
It is. And I know, I'm going to kind of ballpark it, but I know 8 people right now whose credit is ruined because they have been sent to collection agencies by one particular hospital who will not negotiate with them. If they cannot afford to pay the price that they want them to pay, they send them to a collection agency. They get hounded. They end up with lawyer costs over a medical bill that was much higher than it should have been in the first place. And that, my friends, is called robbery.
That is exactly what it is. It is a travesty. Healthcare works that way in our country, but no longer. This is the most robust step towards enforcement that we have seen, and a huge victory for patients. Patients will now be able to have upfront prices, which are essential for them to be informed consumers, to shop, to plan, and to make the best decisions for their health and their wealth. I think price transparency rules really sat on the shelf during the last administration, but this Trump administration is serious about delivering real prices for the American people. So we're going to see so many more success stories about patients shopping, about patients saving with their health care, because they will now have access to real prices up front. And, in fact, as Secretary Kennedy and Administrator Oz said, price transparency is a key part of President Trump's great healthcare plan. So this is a really exciting time for patients who need care and want to be able to know what they're going to pay.
Imagine what kind of illnesses are being caused by the worry that's being infringed upon the people who are worried about their medical bills. I mean, you're already sick and now you're freaking out over your medical bill. I mean, if you're sick, they'll take care of you, but you're still going to get the bill. And so how is it going to work, Ilaria? Is it going to be on their website? Are they going to just tell you when you get there and then you decide if you want to die or not? I mean, how's it going to work?
Yep. So these prices are on hospitals' websites. They don't make it easy for patients to access, though. They're in really complicated formats. So what patientrightsadvocate.org is doing, we are creating shopping tools, taking these complicated pricing files that hospitals post and creating consumer-friendly, easily accessible price shopping tools. So you can go to the state of Missouri, for example, or the state of Ohio, type in a billing code, type in your payer and plan, and you'll get a price for the service that you need. Mm-hmm. And we're going to see these tools working a lot better because hospitals now have to post the information. These tools were hard to develop because the information just wasn't there. But as we've seen, we're going to see a lot more hospitals coming to compliance.
Yeah, and that's wonderful. Now, people who are uninsured are still going to avoid the hospital just because it's scary, which is where concierge medicine comes in. And I use them because I don't want to have to pay a copay. I don't want to have to pay a deductible and everything else when I just want to get my migraine medicine or my blood pressure medicine. And I go to concierge. I know I'm a member, so it doesn't cost me a thing. And my prescription costs me like $8. So, those are options.
And that's the beauty of price transparency. It really shows you where you can get the best value and the best price for the cost you need, whether, it's at the hospital or it is at a concierge doc. Americans will now have the choice to know before they go and choose where they feel most comfortable going based on price and quality, right? And, I actually just want to hit on this briefly. When cash prices at hospitals are on average 40% lower than the negotiated rates insurance plans charge. I have a high deductible plan, and sometimes I find that paying cash is cheaper, depending on where I'm at in my deductible, than going through my insurance. So that's always an option, and that's what patients are going to start seeing when they have access to this pricing information.
That's why so many people are doing concierge and having only catastrophic insurance, because the deductibles are so high.
Exactly.
Yeah. So
it's really exciting. We're going to flip the system on its head with price transparency. And, we're not going to be beholden to our insurance companies or hospitals anymore. We're really going to have consumer choice and be able to create a competitive, functional marketplace in healthcare, which just didn't exist.
So and this is something that I truly need to know. I know patientrightsadvocate.org is doing great things, keeping on top of this stuff, helping push the needle in the right direction. But if you don't have insurance, and so many people do not have insurance because we're priced out of insurance too. So are they going to do something about the skyrocketing insurance costs just being so unaffordable that people are going without? Because I, for one, would rather die than be on Obamacare.
Right. Right. I think we're really going to see a huge shift in how people are purchasing their health care and how they're choosing to do so. Because, the cash price is often, cheaper than insurance. So we're going to see people doing that. We are seeing people doing that. So it's a really interesting time to see, how consumers are going to be spending their healthcare dollars.
Yeah. But we can't force insurance companies to lower their prices.
No, we can't. So, they're going to suffer the consequences of people going without and choosing alternative pathways. There's this great company called Crowd Health, and what they're doing is creating like a membership-based payment platform where patients pay cash. It's a so much cheaper alternative to traditional healthcare insurance, and we're going to start seeing more people shift to doing, paying for their healthcare that way.
I was on a Christian insurance thing for a while, and I thought it was going to be so wonderful because people said such great things. Then I went to get some medical care, and they didn't pay for anything. So I was like, well, I'm sure glad I gave you, $8,000 over the last 5 years so that you could just blow me off. And so I will never join them again.
And you know what, Fawn? This is why price transparency is so, so, so crucial to having a healthy America, because it really gives us choice. It gives us autonomy. It gives us, the certainty to know what we're paying and really have faith that, the price we're paying is going to match the final bill. And if it does not, price transparency allows us to dispute that final bill, to identify where we were overcharged, to identify, maybe egregious or potentially fraudulent charges in that bill, and then successfully dispute it like we did with that patient who we negotiated a $238,000 bill down to $9,500.
And that's amazing.
That is exactly the beauty of price transparency. It cuts out all the fraud. It cuts out all the games. It cuts out all of the, the messiness that was allowed because we didn't know prices up front.
And you know what else you got to do? You got to pay attention, because when you do get your bill, look at it and see what they charged you for, because I'm not going to say any names, but people had things on their bill that cost hundreds and hundreds of dollars that were not used on them. And so it could have been a coding mistake. I'm not saying it was done on purpose, but it never happened. So they shouldn't have been charged. And so you can dispute
and we're never saying it's not on purpose, Fawn, but when you do end up disputing, overcharges or potentially fraudulent item and services, we usually get a response from the hospital. It was a glitch in their system. But how many people are paying incorrect prices due to a glitch in the hospital system?
And we don't know it. Yeah, could be happening anywhere. So how do people get a hold of you if they want information or if they want to, if they just want help? How do they get you?
So go to our website, patientrightsadvocate.org. There we have a bunch of shopping tools and resources informing patients how to shop, how to fight their medical bill, how to find prices on their hospital website. And if they need help fighting a medical bill, they'll find our email. They can email us, and we'll walk them through the dispute process.
Say
and
it
that's
with me.
patientrightsadvocate.org.
Trump.
Oh, we're so appreciative of President Trump and his administration for getting this done. It is for far too long we've waited for this, and they're doing it. So we're so appreciative.
And the Knicks just won the championship because he's a fan. So there.
Oh my gosh.
All right.
Hey, I'm from Boston, so.
Well, he was at the game. He's a Knicks fan. I'm a Red Sox fan, so people.
Okay, good. Me too.
Yeah.
Me too.
I really, really hate that Philly everything. So I hope we're together on that one. All right. Ilaria Wheeler, Director of Research, patientrightsadvocates.org. Make sure that you check them out. And if your hospital's giving you the screw job, make sure you get a hold of them and let them know so they can put them on watch. Ilaria, thank you.
You're the best. Thank you so much.
Bye-bye. Ilaria, I love her name. It's fun to say. And it's different because I'm different.
And now, the Marketing Minute. Media trends can be a lot like fashion trends. They come and go, and many are forgotten after the craze ends. But there's one notable exception in the media trend world, and that's broadcast radio. It's still trending. Who would have believed 100 years after its debut, radio would continue to top the charts as the medium that reaches the most customers? With 243 million monthly listeners, radio beats the media competition. Each week, more Americans tune into broadcast radio than any other platform. According to Nielsen, 93% of U.S. adults 18 18 and older listen to radio every week, more than watching TV, using a smartphone, TV-connected device, tablet, or PC. If you run a business in Southeast Missouri and want an advertising medium that stood the test of time and reaches the most people across multiple generations, you should strongly consider this radio station. KZIM and KSIM are a part of River Radio of Southeast Missouri, and River Radio's marketing team are renowned for getting results. Come learn why marketers are rediscovering radio's power.
Now, here's your River Radio weather forecast from the Weather Channel.
Now today brings intense, steamy summer heat, so dress light, sunshine, scorching high 94 today, south winds 5 to 15 miles per hour. Severe thunderstorms are likely tonight into early Friday, bringing slightly cooler temperatures for the end of the week. Persistent rain expected through the weekend. Richard DeWetting at the Weather Channel.
Listen for updates 24 hours a day from River Radio.
Yep, it's almost like it's summertime. Mostly cloudy out there right now, but the sun's going to burn its way through, so we'll call it fair. 82 right now, south wind at 15, gusting to 26. Heat index at 88. It's almost Friday, folks. I'll see you tomorrow so we can celebrate the weekend. Rigging out.
960 KZIM Cape Girardeau, 1400 KSIM Sykeston with Reynolds Roofing Exteriors and Coating, the area's only O